There are nights when I wake up gasping for air that isn't there. Nights when I feel the weight of bodies pressing against me again, trapping me in a coffin of flesh and sweat. Somewhere deep in my mind, I'm still there. I went to Astroworld to celebrate, to lose myself in the music, but instead I almost lost my life. I remember everything. Every sound, every scream, every moment of sheer panic. And now, I can't forget, no matter how hard I try. When I first stepped into the NRG park that evening, the energy was so electric. It felt like stepping into another world. One where nothing else mattered except the bass pounding through your chest and the excitement of the crowd around you. People laughed and danced. We all thought we were in for the nights of our lives. But beneath the excitement, something felt wrong, like an itch. I couldn't scratch, an unseen presence whispering in the back of my mind. Something is coming, something bad. Security was falling from the start. I saw people jumping barriers, storming through fences like they were nothing. Some ran past guards, screaming with excitement. They weren't excited. They were desperate. Desperate to be in, desperate to belong. I should have left then. I should have known. By sunset, the crowd had thickened into something unnatural. The space between bodies had vanished. Every direction I turned, I was met with a wall of people. Breathing, swallowing, pushing. It was like being trapped inside a living beast. I could feel the body heat of the people besides me. Their sweat sticking to my skin. The air wasn't just hot, it was thick, suffocating. Breathing felt like trying to inhale through a straw. Then I heard it, a scream, but not one of excitement, one of fear. Somewhere in the mass of bodies, someone was already struggling. Looked around, trying to find the source, but the crowd swallowed everything. That was the first time I felt it. That creeping, paralyzing fear that I was trapped. And then the countdown began. The moment the countdown hit the screen, the world around me shifted. The bodies around me moved, surging forward like an unstoppable tidal wave. I tried to stand my ground, but my feet left the floor. I wasn't walking anymore. I was being carried, swept away. I tried to push back, to regain control, but it was trying to fight an ocean current. That's when the crushing started. The force of bodies pressing against me was unbearable. My ribs bent inward. My lungs screamed for space that no longer existed. I turned my head, desperate to find an escape. But all I saw were faces twisted in panic, eyes darting in every direction, mouths moving, but the voices lost in the roars of music. A girl next to me caught my eyes. Her lips moved, forming silent words. I can't breathe. I tried to help her. I reached for her hand, but before I could grasp it, the crowd swallowed her. And then I felt something under my feet. It wasn't the ground, it was a person. My stomach turned. The realization hit like a dagger in my gut. I was standing on someone, and there was nothing I could do. I tried to lift my arms, but they were pinned against my sides. I tried to take a full breath, but the weight of the crowd pressed my ribs together like a vice. I screamed for help. I begged for someone to see me, to reach in and pull me out. But no one saw, no one cared. I was just another face in the sea of bodies, just another voice lost in the chaos. People were collapsing around me, falling like dominoes, their eyes rolling back, their lips turning blue. I looked up at a stage, at Travis Scott still performing, oblivious to the nightmares unfolding beneath him. The air was disappearing. Each breath was shallower than the last. I could feel my body giving up. A man beside me clutched his throat, his eyes bulging with panic. A girl next to him collapsed, her body limp. And still the music playing on. And still the music played on. I wanted to scream, to tell them to stop the show, to beg for someone to notice. But I couldn't. My voice was gone. My strength was gone. I was fading. My vision blurred. Everything around me became distant, like I was watching it happen to someone else. My legs buckled, and I felt myself falling. I hit the ground, but I never landed, because there was no ground, only people. Realization made my stomach turn. I was lying on top of someone. Someone who wasn't moving. Someone who might already be gone. I felt myself slipping away. The world around me faded to black. Was this it? Was this how I was going to die? Then hands, grabbing me, pulling me. I don't know how they found me. I don't know who pulled me out. But suddenly, I was being lifted, dragged over the barricade. My lungs gasped for the air that suddenly tasted sweeter than anything I'd ever known. I collapsed onto the ground, my body shaking, my mind reeling. And then I turned back. And what I saw will forever haunt me. The crowd was still moving. People were still trapped. The music never stopped. And I knew in that moment that some of them were going to make it out. I survived, but 10 didn't. 10 people who never made it home like me. Think about them every night. I wonder why I made it out when they didn't. I wonder if the girl I tried to reach for made it out. People beneath me survived. And I just wonder, if we had screamed louder, if we had fought harder, would it have made a difference? I guess I'll never know. But I do know this. The world needs to remember what happened. The world needs to hear our screams, even if they weren't heard that night. Because no one should ever have to go through what we went through. No one should ever have to fight to survive at a concert. I'm a survivor of Astroworld. But some of us never got the chance to say that. So let's remember them.